Morning, Saints. I'm coming to you this morning early. The Lord been working me all night, and He gave me a message because I had something on my heart last night before I went to sleep, and it had a little bit of something to do with me saying to be all in. Um, so this is not about all in, but this is just to say don't lose faith, right? Um, the Bible verse that the Lord gave me to explain to not give up, to still hold on to Him, and believe that He'll take you through a storm is Matthew 14:22 verse 33, and this is the scenario when Jesus walked on water. In the first part of this, Jesus told the disciples to get in the boat and go ahead of him, and he'll catch up to them later. Jesus said he was going to go ahead and dismiss the multitude that was there. Now, before we move past that, pay attention to Jesus was the one that told him to get in the boat. Jesus told him to go out into the lake or wherever that was going, to go to the other side. Tell him go ahead and go. And that tells me something right there. Jesus knows the end from the beginning, right? Yeah, he knew that there was going to be a storm on that boat. He knew everything that was going to happen, but yet Jesus sent him out. So this was a test, right? Jesus knew everything that was going to happen, and he did it anyway. He told him to go ahead. But after he got rid of the multitudes, Jesus didn't right away head towards the boat. Jesus went up into the mountains to pray. That's a key right there. Whenever you're about to attempt anything good or great, okay, always be connected to God. Jesus went and talked to his Father. That's where the power came from. He was already connected. He wanted to stay connected, right? And that's what we need to do. Whenever you're about to tempt anything, seek the power, seek the wisdom, seek everything that you need to know from God. Okay, then it says that Jesus was on top of the mountain and he looked down and the boat was a ways from the land, right? So that also tells me something else too. That when we're going through our storm and we don't see Jesus, Jesus is already watching us. He's already there. He's looking at you. He's paying attention to everything that's going on. Remember, he knows the end from the beginning, right? He sent you out there. So he's paying attention. He's paying attention to you out there. He knows what's going on. And it says that the waves and the wind was against the boat. And Jesus, it's right around the fourth watch. It said just before dawn, right? That's saying that they were out there all night. And that's what it's telling me. You've been going through this problem and issue for a long time, right? It says that it was about the fourth watch. It was right before dawn, right? So what's that telling me is that the first watch came by and no Jesus. The second watch came by, still no Jesus. Third watch, okay, now we starting to have problems. Hey, the winds and the waves are still out here. We're still in this storm. No Jesus. A lot of people would have gave up on the second or third, maybe even the first watch. It was like, man, forget this. Let's turn back. Let's give up. You know, a lot of people in life would give up because, hey, I've been praying, I've been asking for help, and I still don't see no Jesus. He said he was going to be here, but I don't see him. So it's time for me to bail. It's time for me to get out of here because obviously there's no Jesus, right? But Jesus is always on time. On the fourth watch, they're still going. They've been through this all night now. Jesus started walking on water in the storm that was against the boat, that was making people want to give up. Jesus is walking on it, right? And this is what happened to most of us. What happens now is that they got fearful. They think, hey, it's a ghost. Hey, this is something. Something is walking on water. That's got to be a ghost, right? But Jesus cried out to them and said, hey, it's me. Be of good cheer. Relax. It's me, right? And that tells you something right there too, because whenever fear, it takes you away from being calm. It takes you away from being steady. It takes you away from using your wisdom, knowledge. It takes you away from using common sense. Fear gripped them, right? So they were unsteady. They were like, man, it's time for us to start swimming, get out of here, because, hey, that's a ghost on water, right? Jesus had to tell them, hey, relax, it's me. Because they had fear. And a lot of us have that fear that, hey, I'm seeing, it's not just the storm and the wind now. We got a ghost out here too. That's too much. It's time for me to bail. That's what most people will say. Jesus had to tell them, relax. Peter, still not knowing if it's really Jesus, say, if it is you, call out to me and I'll come to you. That's exhibiting some faith right there, because he still didn't know it was Jesus. Jesus said, come. Peter jumped out of the boat and started walking towards Jesus. Now, let's stop right there. Remember what was against the boat? The winds and the wave. That sea, or, water. Peter got out into it. He left his safety net because all those guys still stayed in the boat, because that's their safety net. That's what they're holding on to. That's what they know. That's what they believe in. Peter took all of that and put it in Jesus, put it on Jesus. He put all that on Jesus. Like, okay, he no longer had his safety net, the flotation device that's in the boat, the boat itself. He left all that and went out into the storm, which is the cares of the. He didn't pay no attention. He jumped into the thing that was against them in the first place. Right? He did that and started walking towards Jesus. Now he started sinking, and he had the good enough sense to call out to Jesus. A lot of us won't do that. We won't call out to Jesus. We go to little Jimmy, the soothsayer, whoever, somebody, friends or family or whatever. That's who they will turn to. They won't turn to Jesus. Because, like I said, fear don't make you think right. A lot of people would turn to other people for help once they start feeling like they're starting to sink. But Peter called out to Jesus like, hey, save me. Jesus said to him, reached out and grabbed him and said, hey, ye of little faith. But I'll turn around and say, hey, okay, I have a little faith. But those in the boat had none. They ain't had none. They didn't get out the boat. They stuck to their safety net, what they think, what their knowledge is telling them. And God's knowledge and man's knowledge are not even on the same plane. They stayed in the boat that they thought was safe, where Jesus was out on the water. And wherever safety is where Jesus is. It's not in the boat. It's not in the boat. But then, okay, they went into the boat. Then the seas and the water, everything became calm. Then they turned and said, well, yeah, you got to be the Son of God. Look what you just did. But there's two experiences in that boat now, right? The experiences of the disciples that was in the boat, they only saw it or heard it or whatever. Just like we're reading this story right now. That's one concept. That's where they were at. The second one is Peter. Peter have a different experience than they did about that situation because he actually lived through it. He went in it. He had faith to believe in Jesus, that Jesus could save him. He went and walked on water. His experience is that he experienced that power. He experienced it for himself. Not that he saw it or somebody told him about it. He experienced it. And a lot of us won't go get the experience. I'd rather you tell me about it instead of me experiencing the power. He missed the power. All of those disciples missed out on having that experience for themselves to know that Jesus can save them. So the next time there's a problem that comes up on them, Peter's faith is now a little bit bigger. His faith is going to be a little bit bigger because he had faith to believe that. I mean, he had faith to get out of the boat, but because he lived through that experience and he went through that experience, he is now stronger because he tried that. He was able to still have faith, still continue to keep taking the test and passed. Where those that was in the boat that cling to their safety can't have that. They don't have that experience. So the next time those that was in the boat, they're going to be in a different position than where Peter would be, because Peter already knew that God could save him. He actually knows that for himself because he lived through it. Those other guys only had a visual experience of it. It's not the same thing as you going through it and having Jesus save you, having been through it and be able to do great things because Peter walked on water. He walked on water. Yeah, Jesus reached out and grabbed him, but he was able to still walk back, right? Because he didn't say Jesus carried him and they went back to the boat. He walked back to the boat on the water. So let me close this off. When you're going through something and you keep on trying and trying and trying and it's not working, have faith. Get out of the boat. Don't believe that it's okay, well, I'm going to go to what I know is to be right or how I know my safety is. This is what I think is going to be safe for me, or it's going to be the best bet for me, right? The thing that you're going through, have faith, go all in. Jesus is going to be there. He's going to be on time, right? It was the fourth watch. They ain't see him for a while, but Jesus will show up on time. Jesus will let you pass that test. That bar exam that you keep trying to pass for 6, 7 times, the 8th time might be that charm. Go ahead and have faith. You could pass that test. Jesus is with you. He's watching you. So be of good courage. Go ahead and try that. God bless.